Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, as always, and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys have been enjoying my videos, that you guys have been liking what I've been talking about, learning from it, or at least just kind of changing your perspective on certain items because of it. I've been wanting to do this specific video for a long time, but I've been afraid because it's one of those topics that's a little bit off kilter, if that's the right word I'm using. It's not something that a lot of people talk about, or at least I haven't really heard anyone speak about this a lot. Perhaps I'm the only one that really thinks this way, although I really don't think so. So I just wanted to kind of get into it, and if you guys like it, you can listen to it. If you don't like it, you can shut it off and go on to the next video, or go on to a different YouTuber. From a very young age, I disliked being stared at. It's just the way it is. You're a child. You don't want to be looked at. You want to do your own thing, especially by adults, because it's like, if an adult is looking at you, either they're judging you and they're going to scold you for something, or they're going to make you do something that you don't want to do, or they're going to make you study, things like that, right? So I was young, and I did not like being looked at. This kind of not only continued on because I was an introvert, but also continued on into my teenage years. And the more I developed as a woman and developed my femaleness, if you want to call it, the more obviously people stared at me. Now, it might just be the case that I was growing, and I was really tall. I was really, really short actually when I was young, but all of a sudden when I turned 13, I had a growth spurt, and from 5'5" or something, when I was really, really small, I switched or went all the way to 5'9". So all of a sudden, I'm really tall. Not only that, suddenly I'm developing breasts. Suddenly I'm becoming a woman. I'm developing hips. I'm becoming, someone that I guess men like to look at, someone that men would look at. And from the beginning, I absolutely despised having boobs. It's not even something that I really liked. The minute they started sprouting up, I absolutely despised them. Not only because, obviously, they were there and they were uncomfortable, and it was a sign that I was growing up. It was a sign that I was becoming an adult. It was a sign that I was changing. Not only because I was becoming a teenager, a rebellious teenager, that too. Not only that, but also because, as I said, all of a sudden, from being a child that wasn't looked at that much, I'm just a child and it's fine, I was cute, but I had glasses, and I was a major nerd. I had braces, I had glasses, everything. So I wasn't really good to look at. No one really stared at me that much. But all of a sudden, from that point, I've become this person who people looked at, especially men looked at. And not only did they look at me, but they did stupid things when they looked at me. They would touch themselves, or they would be gross about it, right? So obviously that began my journey of hating my breasts. Now, I know this video is probably not very suitable to the men in the audience, although I really hope that you guys do watch this, because it kind of is a documentary of sorts, or a documentation of my experience, but my experience is not unique. A lot of women that I speak to started hating their breasts as soon as they started maturing and becoming a woman, because of the attention they started garnering because of it. All of a sudden, you become this person that is in the spotlight. Everyone starts staring at you, especially men, obviously not the women, but the men start looking at you because all of a sudden you have something perhaps that they want to look at or touch or be around, whatever it might be. And so, as I said, I started hating the fact that I was a woman. I hated the fact that I was a female. I hated the fact that I had to go through this nonsense. I wanted to be a man. I wanted to be a man so badly that I would dress like a man. So, I would obviously wear baggy clothing. I wore a lot of baggy clothing to hide my boobs. It did not work, obviously, but I tried very hard. I wore shirts that were extra, extra large when I was a small, or even extra small. I had a very small build, and so I'd wear big t-shirts and really, really, really loose pants, and I wore sneakers all the time, and I did not like wearing skirts. I did not like showing off my arms. I did not like wearing anything with spaghetti straps. I did not like wearing anything that showed off my body in any way, shape, or form, right? I did not like all of that stuff because, again, it was the same thing. It was the fact that as soon as I started dressing up like that, if I did, if there was a special occasion, all of a sudden I felt uncomfortable. I felt like cringing. I felt like everyone's attention was in this area. Now, I'm sure that it wasn't always like that, right? I mean, I'm sure no one really cared, and I'm sure no one was looking. But every single time I'd look up and I'd see a man staring at me there, I would think to myself, why Why, oh God, why? Why was I born a female? Why couldn't I have been a man? It would be so much easier. No one looks at men, no one looks at boys. Maybe that's not true anymore because, you know, there's obviously guys who are interested in guys. But at that point in time, I just wanted to be a man. I just wanted to be someone who did not have boobs, who did not get stared at, who did not have all this attention on her. Right? As time went on, obviously, I started doing yoga and I started meditating. And in my 20s, I started loving my body again. I started realizing that it's okay, you know, it's fine. I have them now. I have boobs. I have this female body. What can you do about it? You just have to kind of accept it and kind of go along with it. And if people stare, well, that's their problem. It's not yours, kind of thing, right? Unfortunately, though, the problem with being a female in the world right now, well, one of the problems is the fact that when you're walking through the world, it's not that people just stare at you. They actually do stupid things, other things as well that really irritate the hell out of me. Not only am I talking about the fact that they whistle or, you know, they'll try to get your attention by making stupid noises, or they'll honk the horn in their car. But a lot of men, especially when I'm traveling around in areas where I am atypical looking. I'm not the typical kind of person. So basically, a lot of the places I go to, a lot of the places I travel to, in most places, I guess, I stand out. Not only, as I said, because I'm tall, because I look different, because I dress different, but it's just the way it is. And I've kind of accepted this for myself. Unfortunately, though, a lot of men, what they will do is they'll come up to you and make stupid gestures. Or I've had men start jerking off in front of me because I was walking through a parking lot once, and this guy started jerking off while he was watching me walk through the parking lot. Or he pulled out his thing and started, you know, touching himself. And I was just thinking to myself, what is going on here? What is going on here? Recently, I was walking down the street in Chiang Mai, and a strange man in a strange car, an SUV, stopped by my side and said if I wanted a ride from him. And I thought to myself, are you insane? You're a strange man in a strange country. I am not going to get into this car with you. Like, are you absolutely out of your mind? And so I said no, but he would not listen. He just, he was just there, and he started driving alongside me. I was walking, and he started driving alongside me and asked me over and over again, are you sure you don't want to ride? It's hot outside. I'll give you a ride wherever you want to go. And I just felt so annoyed by it, obviously, but also so upset by it, because I was thinking to myself, not only am I annoyed by the fact that he thinks that I'm stupid enough to do this, which is kind of like an insult to me, but also the fact that he thinks that this is all right. Do men think that this is all right? How can they think that this is okay? How can you think that it's okay to come up to a random female, a younger female, much younger than him, I think he was in his 50s or 60s, and come up to her and say that, and ask her to come to get into the car with you? And that's just one of the examples, and that's a problem that's not just one thing that happens to us as females, you know, once in a lifetime kind of thing. It just happens every single day almost, or every other day. Just the other day I was walking through the streets, and this man stopped me and started asking me all these questions. Now, he didn't speak my language, I didn't speak his language, so I was able to walk away. But I was afraid, you know, I was afraid that he was actually going to do something and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it, because it was in the crowded street. And, you know, cars are passing by, but who would really stop for me unless I started screaming about it? And I just did not want to do that unless it was absolutely necessary. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I doing a video about it? And even though it's one of the most uncomfortable topics out there, I wanted to talk about it because I don't want to live in the world where women hate their bodies, or hate their boobs, or hate their themselves because of the fact that they live in a world where they're stared at, or they're made fun of, or our men are being weirdly aggressive or doing weird things because there is a woman around them, right? I'm sure this video is not going to do anything to change that fact, right? But I just wanted to share my experience with you guys, because I thought it was, because I just didn't like that when I was a teenager, when I was younger, that I started hating myself. But not only that, I started hating having this body and boobs and everything else, because of the fact that I was surrounded by all this nonsense. I think that's one of the main reasons I don't want to have children, is because I'm afraid that I'm going to have a girl and she's going to have to live in this world. And she's going to have to live in a world where it's all right for men to do stupid things because you're a female. It's all right for them to come up to you and ask you to get into your car, or come up to you and touch you, or or slide their hand down your boob, because just being a stranger, it's all right for them to do all these stupid things. And it's just so common that it happens so often that as a female, I think to myself, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it for me to speak up against this nonsense? Is it even worth it for me to say anything out loud? Because if I do, and if it's a stranger, then obviously they'll go away. But if it's a friend that's doing it, or a colleague or something like that, then it feels like then they're going to make fun of me. They're going to put me down. They're going to say, oh, you're just an ice princess, or you're just an ice queen, or why are you making such a big deal out of this? Everyone else is fine with this. Or why do you have to be like this? Why can't you just be more friendly? Or why can't you just be more relaxed? Or why does everything always have to be such a big deal with you? And I've had all of these things said to me all the time. I still get all this stuff said to me all the time. And what can you do about it, right? All you can do is really smile about it or ignore it. But the real problem with the situation is the fact that I just can't ignore it, because it happens so freaking often. I wish I could ignore it. I wish I could just wear baggy clothing, which I do right now even. I wish I could wear baggy clothing and walk out into the world and just be ignored. Not be looked at, not be touched, not be talked to. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be talked to by a man unless I am the one who approaches him, unless I am the one who says, hello, how are you? Or unless he does it in a way which is respectful, which I feel is sometimes maybe too much to ask for in this world. Now, I don't want to make this a rant or anything. I hope this wasn't a rant. I just wanted to share my experience with you guys, because I just feel like it's so important in this world, especially where I have this forum, where I have this ability to share my thoughts with you guys, and I have people who are listening to me. I wanted to really share this with you, because I know that there are some men who are going to watch this stuff, and if you are watching this, I know that you're going to be the ones who stand up for those women who are being harassed, or who are being molested, or who are being treated weirdly by men who are just doing it because it's a female standing in front of them with boobs. That's the main thing. That's the real thing. The real reason I hated my boobs was because people did not look at me as a human being anymore. I was just a mannequin with boobs, basically. It was just, the only thing they really cared about was my femaleness. They didn't care about anything else. I had so many aspects to me. I have so many dimensions to myself. But all that was looked at was the fact that I was a female with a female body and parts that men were interested in, right? That was the only thing that I was brought down to that level. I felt like I was brought down to that level, and there was nothing else to me. No one else really cared about anything, any other aspects to me. It's interesting because a lot of women obviously do that. They use their bodies in order to make money. They use their bodies or their femaleness in order to make a name for themselves in the world. And I don't blame them for that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. It's just that I don't think everyone wants to be treated that way. I don't want to be treated like just a female. I want to be treated as a human being, as a human with all these different aspects to me. And one aspect is obviously the fact that I have a female body and I'm a female walking around this world. That's just one aspect to me. There's a billion other parts to me that I wish people would pay more attention to than the fact that I have boobs, or the fact that I am a female, So I wanted to share this with you because, as I said, I wanted to share this experience with you. Right now, in this moment in time, I don't hate my boobs or my body as much as I used to. I don't hate my femaleness as much as I used to in the past. When I was a teenager, it was really, really bad. I despised it. I didn't even want to look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at myself naked. I used to take a shower with my clothes on because I just did not want to see I just did not want to see what was causing me so much pain and anxiety all the time. I couldn't even walk out on the street without all of this harassment. And so obviously I also lived in the Middle Eastern country where it was really, there's a lot of repression going on. There's a lot of sexual harassment there just because women are treated like crap. But it didn't matter. I still hated my body. Now, as I said, I did yoga, meditation. I've done a lot of self-work and a lot of self-love stuff. So now I obviously love myself more than I ever did before. But there are still moments where I walk out in the street and I'm like, I wish I was a man so I did not get looked at the way I would get looked at. I wish I was a man so I didn't have to worry about the fact that, people are looking at my boobs, or they're looking at my body, or they're looking at me in a less viciously, or like a horny way, like just a way where you're like, ew, this is cringy. I don't want you to look at me anymore, kind of thing, right? Now, I've already spoken a lot about this. It's a long video already. I just really wanted to share this with you guys. I I don't know if you're gonna get what I wanted to get across. I hope that you do. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, or if you're a female and you feel exactly the same way, I'd love to hear your experiences of it and where you are at right now. Do you love your body? Do you hate your body? Do you like being a female right now? Do you hate it? And I go through moments. I have moments where I love being a female. I'm so grateful that I'm a female because of all the brilliance that we are. You know, we are brilliant, sparkling human beings, and I love being a female for that reason. And then I have moments where I hate it. So again, if you guys have any questions, all of my contact information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.